Good evening and welcome to Unmuted Nation Raw. I'm Alex Haynes, and here we are again, another day, and we're still at it. Of course, Unmuted Nation, if you have not been with us in the past, Unmuted Nation is live on Boss FM Radio. You can download the app from your app store. We are live every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's 10 a.m. Pacific time. Until forever. Right now, we're doing a raw version of Unmuted Nation, and it's at 8 p.m. Eastern weekdays, and we are really giving you the facts with a little drink. So that said, grab your drink, and we're gonna jump into it. If you missed it yesterday, I got a little heated. I had some guests that were supposed to join me. They did not come. Those same guests were invited back today and some of their friends, but they don't apparently want this truth or this work. So the Black Trump supporters, if you're tuning in for that, they will not be here, though we will still talk about Black Trump supporters. And if you are a Black Trump supporter, I'm going to put this out there. Reach out to us. So just drop us a message. Unmuted Nation, anywhere you type that in, you can find us. I promise you we will get back to you. And I don't want to drag you. Dragging may ensue, but I really want to know your thoughts, why you are voting the way that you are voting, why you're making the decisions that you're making. All of these things are important for not just me to know and understand, but people in your community, right? If you've made this decision and you think it's the best one for you, then let us know why. Let us know why you made a decision on that wavelength. Some people are really making the decisions, and while voting is a very personal decision, oftentimes that's a decision that can just be solo. Some of us vote in the interest of the collective, and maybe that's not the case. Tonight, we have a packed show. I've been laughing about everything that's going on, and there's so much that we couldn't fit into it. So join the comments, okay? On Twitter, Unmuted Nation as the hashtag. If you are on a platform where you can watch, this goes to a lot of different destinations. So if you can watch and you can comment, definitely join in and chime into this conversation. And we hope to leave no stone unturned. As much as I can have her back, Tiff Linnell, who's also from Boss FM, of the soon coming show Tiff Talks, will be joining me tonight as well. And you know what, Tiff, why don't you come on in and we can just kick it off. There's some of these things that I want to hit solo. You have that look on your face that says I am yet ready.
I am here at your disposal.
I'm yet ready. What are you drinking tonight?
I've got a little bit of red in tow with me on tonight. I just feel like red does me good, and it's perfect for tonight's conversation.
I felt the same way yesterday, and it was red that kind of led me into where I landed. It wasn't really, it is. I've
okay.
Embarked into the cognac, so here we go. Let's get the meaningful things out of the way and talk a little bit about things that are still happening and that everyone else is ignoring. COVID is still real. It's still out there. People are still dying. In fact, the number of people dying is increasing, not just in this country. And let me put this out there and set the record straight. The numbers are going to continue to increase here, period. There's no plan. Just kind of like the Republicans have no healthcare plan, but they want to take healthcare away. It's like Americans want COVID to go away. We want to wish it away. We want to sleep it away. We want to ignore it. It's not going anywhere.
But yet you still don't want to wear a mask.
Well, you know what? I still think that there are people that are unclear about the purpose of the mask and why the mask is needed. And the mask is not really to protect you from the virus, but yet if you should have the virus, it protects others from getting it from you.
I mean, I can put it in kindergarten terms. Cooties. I don't want your cooties. You don't want my cooties. Wear your mask. I don't know how else. I mean, that's as crayon level as I can make.
Me being me, I don't know why I don't have wear your mask at my disposal. And actually, I know why it's not here, because that's not something that I endorse at all. Though it is funny, and you do need to wear your mask. When you say wear your mask to our community, everybody knows. Everyone says the same thing. So people know. And it looks like, based on my ranting, we may have a Trump supporter joining us tonight. I would be more than happy. I'm signaling back to the team now. I'm more than happy to have him join. Just let me know when he's or she is available. That said, a woman died. A woman died from COVID-19, and on an airplane. So let me backtrack on that just a little bit. A Texas woman, she was in her 30s. She dies after boarding the flight.
She what?
Passed away.
What do you mean after boarding the flight?
She was on the flight and perished. Expired.
Mid-flight?
No, like they were still on the ground.
How? Okay.
Now, honestly, right, from what we know, what we do know is that COVID looks different in everybody, right? It's not the same. It does not manifest the same in different bodies. For some people, you know, they are on ventilators, or they're, you know, they we don't know about dying suddenly. I do feel like, because of the state of where our country is, and how people have chosen to embrace or not embrace COVID ideology, I do think people are more susceptible to just dying from it because they've been ignoring the symptoms, and because they don't want to accept that they have it. Because they
don't take your ass on a plane, though. Like, if you know you're not feeling
it. Why not?
That's stupid. And
I know why not. I know why not. But I'm just saying,
for those who don't, that's stupid and inconsiderate. Don't take your sick ass on a plane. Because a lot of people, and I've heard this a lot recently, oh, it's just my allergies. Okay, but are you sure? Like, if COVID doesn't teach us anything else, if you have not been paying attention to the signs and signals of your body, you should now know your body, learn your body. This is a perfect opportunity to learn the signals of your body. I know the difference between when I am sick and when my allergies are kicking my ass.
So let me ask you this. If you know, like, I know when it's allergies because I've had them, you know, for 33 years. I'm trying to count. But I think people say the same thing. Like, people that have notoriously had allergies or feel like they have allergies, they believe that this is their allergies, and they justify. But let me just do this for you so we can seal this, because I don't want to waste all the time here. I think, you know, your allergies don't give you, I mean, they could, but they don't give you extended fatigue, shortness of breath, the inability to move. My allergies can be incapacitating. You know, when I'm in Georgia in the spring and there are clouds of yellow pollen flying around, that will literally, like, knock me into a coma. But just seasonal allergies are not going to give you all but the COVID has symptoms that are just unpredictable. You know, they're different in different people. But I wanted to cover that story because it's important for you to know, like, we are desensitized to numbers, and we are desensitized to facts, because we built this society of misinformation, and we believe our own facts. And then you see these numbers growing on news networks, and you're like, oh. And this is not a countdown to New Year's, guys. This is
right. This is real life. These are
millions of people.
The number is a person dying, a person getting sick. And I have said this before, and I'll say it again. These numbers are vast understatements for what the actual numbers are. You have to keep in mind that testing was not widely available in the beginning of this virus. It still is not available in some communities. It still is not as rapid as it really needs to be, and as it is in some other countries. And we have countless deaths that are not being considered COVID-related deaths that are COVID-related deaths. We have cases that are getting false negatives or false positives. So the numbers that we are seeing are vast understatements. And I'm not making that up. You can Google it. Plenty of doctors and scientists have said the same. Okay. So, you know, each number is a life. Whether it's a case or a death, it's a life. And this is still something to be taken seriously. Don't take your sick ass on no plane.
That said, California, it has is going to allow maskless voting.
I saw this BS.
So with the mixed messaging, what are people supposed to expect, right? Well, my state's gonna let me come vote without a mask.
That's just dumb. And that's just dumb.
I mean, I agree, but I also feel like people don't know what they actually. Let me not. I was about to play devil's advocate. Y'all know. You don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't like wearing it for a long time. That's why I like to be outside. If I have to wear it, I can take it off. I can breathe. But you walk into a closed space, put it on. Just put it on. Because I don't know what you got. You don't know what you got.
Clearly, if you're dying on planes, I'm not going to be able to let that go for a minute. Wear your mask.
You know why it's really traumatic? And I wasn't going to go here, but we all know people that work at airlines. I have a friend that worked as a management at an airline and would be called, because people die at random times, right? People aren't just dying because of COVID, even though I do actually agree with the running joke that since COVID has come, nobody has died from anything else.
Oh, wow.
I mean, people have died from anything else, but
it
seems like nobody cares about, like, do people care about you if you die from something aside from COVID during this time?
I think it's reacted to differently for sure.
I feel like you care about close family members. I feel like you care about, certain situations. But when you hear that somebody just passed away because of old age or,
old age, no.
Because you just be like, oh, well, was it COVID? They're like, no, it wasn't COVID. It's like, oh, okay. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
They still
unless they were Now I did see somebody, pass, and it said they were 108. I said, well, they lived a good life. Blessings.
Are you talking about Meghan McCain's mom? I mean, grandma.
Is that who that was?
It was her grandmother.
Which I didn't make that up. Right? Wasn't she like?
No, she was 108. Roberta McCain. She died 2 Sundays ago.
She had seen enough. She was tired. God
rest at 108, and I made this clear. And again, I won't parlay, but I will say this: I have no desire to be 108. I don't even think body parts were made to be here for 100 years. I don't think they should be used for 100. Using the same body part for 100 years, and maybe I'm getting too graphic for some of you. That's nasty. That's really nasty. You've been using that same for 100 years. That's too much. And I feel like a good sweet 90, 91, 92, take me on out of here. Hell, 89. But not like at that 90, because 100 just seems like when you do die, ain't none of your friends gonna be there.
So it's likely none of your family gonna be there. Just won't do.
No, you see, when you die at 100, not only will you not have anybody coming to the funeral, the people that are coming barely know you. It's like your great grandchildren.
Her grandmother's funeral, I'm sure.
Well, okay. So you wanted to do this, and I'm gonna do it with you. Meghan is my age. Her daddy was 82 when he died.
How old were? Never mind.
So what I'm saying is, most people, her daddy was like 55 years older than her. That's not the average person, especially these days when people's grandmothers are 35 and 36,
right,
and 37. So
how old were Daddy Bush and Mama Bush when they died?
Okay, so you don't want to do. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this because you know that I believe. And actually, when Barbara died, I was blamed on many networks for killing her. And I really didn't. I just felt like Barbara Bush was actually like 112 in 1989 when George H.W. Bush was inaugurated. And so for her to pass away in the late 2000s. Yeah, I mean, I can say this. She got old and then didn't age any further.
Now, I agree with you. She looked the same for the last, I'll say, 40 to 50 years of her life.
I'm going to do this just because I think people will hear this or watch this and not have a clue. And I'm going to beg for this from my team. If we can work some magic and add it in at the end, I want you to show me a picture of Barbara Bush at George H.W. Bush's inauguration. We'll do it at the end of the show. also have ready for me a picture of her the year before she died.
I'm sorry, team. I had to do it.
And I just think, I think we'll leave it on that level. And see, you got me all distracted. I can't even talk about what the hell we're gonna talk about. All right, so yesterday we talked about, and I'm gonna get to 50 Cent in a second. I'm gonna get to these celebrities, and I didn't even want I didn't even really want to go into all of this, but we are 14 days from the election, guys. It's Tuesday. There's gonna be one more Tuesday. And then that next Tuesday is the day. Now, we know already that we will not know the full results. We don't know, we won't necessarily know who the president is or the next president is. What we should know is we should have some idea, right? Because while people don't necessarily vote the same, especially in those rural areas where some of you are living, most people in your general area vote similarly. So we will be able to see from the early results that we see. We'll have a great idea of what it's looking like. We will not have final tallies and we will not have the final vote. What's really interesting is there has been this uptick, and some of it is definitely propaganda, right? You know that the machine works. The social media machine works, the information machine works, and a lot of the things that you believe to be true, or I because you see it in a headline, it's not always the truth. I'm gonna debunk like one of the most common myths, and again, this is Unmuted Nation. While we go here, it makes you uncomfortable. I'm sorry. We talk about Black women, and Tip, I think I shared this with you, but I don't remember. When it comes to there's this thing in the Black community, and y'all don't get PC with me and play like you don't know what I'm talking about. When people see, and this does not make Black people racist, but when people are disheartened when they see a prominent Black man or a successful Black man with a white woman. I have a name for certain white women, but whatever. That's not here, neither here nor there. And so there's think pieces that people write, and there's all these people get upset about it, and oh, well, this, and there's all these theories of why. But the 2010 census told us that 89% of married Black men were married to Black women. So I gave that stat to debunk all of the propaganda and the machinery that we see and the memes that we see in the shade room and the blogs that we read. And it's like, oh, damn, not another one. Statistically, we don't have a problem, Houston.
I mean,
Atlanta.
Men of all races have loved me. I'm grateful. So to each his own.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there is typically a type of white woman that people get frustrated about. Some that look like the Mucinex monster, and then she marries like a tall basketball player or something like that, and then whatever. We'll talk about the Trump supporter and the uptick, the supposed uptick in Black men voting for Trump. But first, Amber Riley, if you don't know who Amber is, she was brought to the screen for most people on Glee. She is an amazing young Black actress. She had an incident with a Trump supporter. We're gonna share this.
So, what does being a Trump supporter mean? Because I just drove into a parking lot because I'm going into a store. Drove into a parking lot. This older white man with a Trump hat on decides, before I can drive into the parking lot, I'm in the driveway, decides he's gonna jump in front of my fucking car, take his Trump hat off, use it as some kind of badge telling me that I needed to stop. Like he was like, stop pointing at the Trump supporter part of his hat. And when I was like, whatever, move along, like get from the front of my car so I can go and do what I have to do, this motherfucker spit on my car. In 2020, he saw a Black woman, decided that he was going to try and punk me, and the motherfucker spit on my car. I really honestly don't have words for this. I don't. But I can say this. I'm not the 1, the 2, or the 3. Okay? I'm not the person that's going to take their phone out and make you famous when you're doing racist shit. I'm going to beat your ass. I don't condone violence, but I do condone self-defense. Okay? Because I can ignore your racist bullshit. But when it comes to assault, I'm not taking my phone out. This is not a game. I will beat your ass. That's what needs to start happening. How much do you guys expect black people to take? How much more do y'all expect us to take? How? I should have called my bro. I am very human, and I don't understand why we are expected so much to handle things so peacefully, and we're supposed to be pacifist and just be passive and let people know. No. If I would have found him in that store, because I did go and look for him, I probably would be in jail right now.
Now, I feel her passion. I feel her pain. And I'm just as frustrated that this happened to her. You know, I don't condone violence in any way. I do not believe, but I also don't believe in attacks, and I believe in protecting Black women first and foremost. And so I think we are in a place in time. One thing she says she's not the 1, the 2, nor the 3.
Nor the 4, nor the 5, nor the 6. Try another one on today and tomorrow.
What I added words for her because I was actually raging while I was watching that. That was my first time seeing it. And she said, "I will beat your ass." I meant to say on site, you know, and I, as a linguist, say, when I say on site, that means on site, GHT, as well when I arrive at the site, TE, okay? So site, what's the purpose? What is the purpose? Because I think when it comes to what we've seen in the uptick of people being upset about the Black Lives Matter movement, people attempting to make that a movement that is violent and a raging machine that's attempting to discredit the Republic of America. Like I don't even know what the whole argument about it is, because when I talk about it to people, I say it means exactly what it says. Black mean something, lives mean something, matter. It means something. Okay, so it does matter. We're not violent. We're not the ones. We're not violently, like, even when it comes to people that are being destructive within the movement, it is people, allies, that say that they are part of this movement, and they come in without Black skin and demean and diminish the value that's put on this movement. But what is the purpose of somebody? If you are supporting Donald Trump, I personally don't give a damn, like, at all. I don't care. I don't care. But why would you be vengeful and attack or provoke? Because what's notoriously happened in this country is when we are provoked, which is often, and we retaliate, the provoker goes free, and we end up with felonies and behind bars because we've responded to foolishness. So I appreciate Amber for sharing that video and actually not sugarcoating anything. I don't feel like the sugarcoating it. And we come from a society, and not just a society that has dictated that we put sugar on our delivery, put sugar on our requests, put sugar on the fact that we feel pain and we're angry. And that society has demanded it, and then Black culture has perpetuated it, right? Not to say that we have not fought for what we've attained, but we still hear it in circles today. It wasn't 10 years ago that I was getting calls like, "Alex, you gotta calm down. Now, did you have to say it that way?" Yeah, and I'm gonna keep on keeping on. Got that from one of my friends, but I'm gonna keep saying it, and I got to say it this way. And you and I were talking about it, like, it can't be stifled. The messaging needs to be clear. You come over here and you fuck with us, you gonna get your ass beat. Period. And that's just that. Especially
right now in the Corona streets. I actually am going to call 911 before I beat your ass, because you're going to jail for that's assault with a deadly weapon. I don't know what's in your spit. So if I'm going to jail, you going to jail. But before they get here, I'm gonna give them a reason to arrest me.
Yeah, like I would have to call 911 after I beat your ass because I
No, I'm
don't
gonna call
even.
before because
You
I
know,
want them to get there before I kill you.
911 calls don't end well for people that look like us.
Now I agree with that.
It just doesn't end well.
I agree with that.
I should actually beat your ass and let you call them.
And let you call them.
While
You right. You right.
Honestly. Thoughts on like what I imagine me hearing that happen to you.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. I am a lot like Amber. I have chased people inside of a store looking for them. The Lord is still working on me.
I think he stopped.
He may have stopped, honestly.
But I think he pretty knows what he made.
He knows what he made, and that's fine. I'm
good with that.
I'm calling my goons. Like, I'm making phone calls, and I'm looking for you in the store because you spit on my property, which means you really wanted to spit on me. And had I not been in the car, you would have. And then you really would have got your ass beat because we not playing them games. So, like you just said, imagine if I called you and said, this Trump supporter just spit on my car. Now, we don't live in the same state anymore, but we got family that does still live here, and I'm calling them. And that's the type of family that ain't scared of jail. So I'm making all of the phone calls to all of my goons and all of my brothers and everybody that I know that got all black with the paint ready, like on site. We beating you down on site. Because what is wrong with you? And I'm with Amber. How much do you really think that we're supposed to take? Like, that's not okay. And again, Corona, that's assault with a deadly weapon. So no, nothing about the story is okay. Nothing about this story is okay. I gotta beat you down on site. Period.
Can I just say it's also not normal? Okay, like
no,
everything that's going on right now is not normal. I cannot wait. You know, I know the United States will still be using textbooks in 20 years because we're 27th in education and behind everybody else. So I want to see what the hell they say about this, like this era that we were going on. Do you remember like history classes and you grew up and we learned more history like as we got older, but they kind of fed it to you in doses, right? So you remember hearing about the Roaring 20s?
Yeah.
What is this period of tens gonna be called?
Trash.
Hell
on earth.
Hell. Okay.
Especially the Trump years. I feel like every textbook is just going to have a section that says the Trump years, and it's.
Well, they will because I mean I'm young enough to remember when they had the Reagan years there.
Okay, so I was going to say it, but I didn't want to.
And I used Reagan specifically because I don't remember it. They never said the FDR years. They didn't say the Kennedy. I mean, it wasn't very long that he had. But Franklin D. Roosevelt was the president 4 times, which is why we have term limits there. We haven't taken any hints in the Senate. I don't understand why that's the case. But yeah, it will definitely say the Trump years. It was going to say the Obama years, but it's probably just going to say light. Followed by the Trump years.
Dark.
That's light, dark. All right, so yesterday we talked about 50 Cent and his support for Donald Trump. If you missed that, I have a lot of thoughts and speculative like reasons on why 50. It's not a surprise to me. It should not be a surprise to you that somebody like 50 Cent literally said out of his mouth, I don't care that Donald Trump don't like black people. I do not want to be taxed at a higher rate. He's out today double downing on his support for Donald Trump because he says he does not want to be 20 Cent. Now, I still think that every time I say that, that's funny. I think it falls right in line with the troll that Curtis is. I know Curtis as a troll. You know Curtis as a troll. 50 Cent is a troll. He is the troll, but he's also a rich troll, right? And so for those of you, like, it's not, we are wasting our breath. And I haven't said it this way. You know, we've talked about Kanye and we've talked about ICE and we've talked about all these various people and their support of Donald Trump and why or why not, right? But when we really think about it, and you think about it, and I'm not counting your coins, but you're watching me. You don't make anything like near Curtis at all. You don't make what near Curtis makes. You can't. I think I'm gonna do this all night. You can't floss like Curtis can floss. You have no reason to think your taxes are going to be heavily impacted in a way to where you should switch who you're voting for based on that alone. The tax code is not going to change on that level. We went into it in detail yesterday. Candace Owens came behind me and tried to spit a bunch of confusing knowledge today about why you know, it's a positive thing for rich people to pay less taxes, because when rich people pay less taxes or no taxes, then the poor also pay less taxes. She had a way of putting it very total bullshit. But in ones, we literally talked about airing it, not on my watch, not on my airwaves. This ain't Al Gore's internet. This is Haynes's house, okay? And it's just not, it's not going down. So we're not gonna do the Candace Owens thing here, but she stood and she actually she really thinks that 50 is making a great decision. She totally believes that rich people are gonna leave major cities if the taxes go up, and she's like, they're all gonna move to Tennessee and Texas.
First of all, what's the why? What was her reasoning? Because I'm not watching her.
They can move there and pay no taxes.
They can live anywhere and pay no taxes. They're the top 1%. So help me understand.
There's no understanding, which is why I didn't play it, and we're not even going to go there because whatever.
Okay.
Ice Cube. Moving on from Curtis, and moving on to Ice Cube. People were very confused at the end of last week when Katrina Pearson, a top advisor to Donald Trump, tweeted out thanks to Ice Cube for supporting. We've got the tweet here. Shout out to Ice Cube for his willingness to step up and work with the real Donald Trump administration to help develop the Platinum Plan. Now, we've talked about this before. We know that in so many ways, the Platinum Plan looks like something that was already created by the CBC. We went through the CBC yesterday. Can't do it again today. I don't have time. However, there was also an assumption by many blacks that don't pay attention, and y'all ain't watching. The best line from Power this season is, a bitch got to start watching the news. Y'all don't watch the news, so you don't know. But Joe Biden had also released a plan for Black America. I told you yesterday that you could go to joebiden.com/Black America to look at that plan. Simone Sanders doubled down for Ice Cube to let him know that the plan was out there. His excuse initially was that, you know, he gave his plan to both campaigns, which is fine that you did that. Just because you came up with a plan for Black people does not mean that the campaign needed to look at it. But I'm going to go further, Ice Cube, and this is where I have to check you on your rich ass privilege. Ice Cube needs to be checked. Diddy needs to be checked, which you and Kia did a great job on doing that here last week. Thank you. I appreciate it for it. But all these people, and those of you that are just awakening and getting enlightened to what's going on, or maybe you're just finally annoyed with Donald Trump's bitch ass and you don't know what else to say, and now you're finally waking up. You cannot come into this movement or come into any movement at all and start to dictate policy or dictate change. You don't get the right, you don't have the right to do that. So you look like a clown. I have the true belief that Ice Cube came in here with the Moses complex, thinking that he had a great plan to free the people.
Now you got to explain the Moses complex for those who don't read the Bible.
Moses, I don't have time to do that either. What I will say is that it backfired on you. And so he's been defending himself on Twitter since Friday, since this nonsense started to unravel. Like, well, I gave it to both campaigns and they're the ones that responded. You got played, my nigga. Like, you just really got played. They called it the Platinum Plan yesterday. I speculated that they called it that because they think we like platinum grills or whatever. Platinum, like, I don't know. And I don't even care. Like, somebody that Donald Trump is the incumbent, right? He's had 4 years to show us what he's going to do. Period. 4 years to come out with a plan for Black people.
Plan looks like
3 months before the election. I chalk it up to everything else you said you were going to do that you haven't done. And that's that on that. I wanted to get to this Ice Cube tweet today. Well, retweet. Because, you know, once you fall in line with these people,
right,
you messed up. Nobody's coming to your rescue because your pride and your arrogance took you too damn far. It just took you too damn far. So Eric Trump tweeted out today, thanking again. You know, they all want to thank him for his support. Do we still have that tweet? Eric Trump tweets out, mind you, I will say that tweet has been deleted because he said, 2 great, courageous Americans. He found a picture of Ice Cube and 50 Cent, and just like they do, they played both of y'all for fools. But 50, you know, he's going to play with it. It's who he is. Ice Cube retweets it and says, nigga, please. Now, I know that nigga, please came from a very frustrated place.
A deep place in his soul.
That had to come from a very frustrated place. Imagine you waking up, Tiff, and seeing that Eric Trump had tweeted a photo of you.
Hell no. Not happening.
So I just, you know, I think it is what it is. I think that, again, I go back to where a lot of people are confused because we live in this age of misinformation. However, I do not believe our polls show that 6% of Americans are undecided. I don't believe that either. I don't think that 6%.
I don't believe that. I think pretty much everybody is. Let me not say that. Because at the end of the day, neither side, we haven't really seen either side been able to truly talk about policy. What are the plans and the policies? The last debate was canceled. The last 2 town halls went up against one another and, you know, whatever. And we have another debate this Thursday, but
we'll be here. I'll just go ahead and put that out here.
A lot of people,
this
not
will be full, though.
Not the country.
So we'll be here.
That may not be why. But I get it. I do understand why some people are still undecided if you don't know what the policies or the plans are on either side.
Or it's all very confusing. I understand that as well because you're getting all of this information. You're getting things from one side and another thing from the other side. Right. Sometimes it's conflicting information. And like I walked through this yesterday, and again, just time I can't. When you have little information, you naturally want to piece together the things that don't make sense. So anybody bringing you information that can close that gap, that knowledge gap for you, you kind of lean into that information. And that's what happens, especially when we get closer to these elections, which is really important for people to understand where you're getting your information from. It should be from a nonpartisan source as much as possible. And you should be looking for clear information, not a slant, not an opinion. And you definitely cannot.
I have a question. Do you think that this will blow over as quickly as the CeCe Winans situation did?
Now, why did you want to go and do that? I think
because you know how I feel about the church being more forgiving than anyone else.
So I think that CeCe Winans did issue an immediate clarification. They woke her up.
I'm like, they did get her up out of her sleep.
Put on a face and released the video at 1:00 in the morning. Okay, so I feel like there was some extreme damage control there. Ice Cube kind of tried to stay in his prideful lane, and I think this nigga please sent the message that, okay, y'all, I messed up, but he still has not acknowledged the fact that he has made what is it's a glaring mistake, because they've totally used you and played you. And if let's say Donald Trump does get elected, people are gonna be looking at you, Cube, like, what's next?
So do you think that it would have helped if his response today to Eric Trump's tweet came first? Like, if that was his immediate response, do you think that would have helped?
Yes, I actually think that had he not been spent the last 5 days mansplaining, I think that, and he waited to respond to Eric reaching out today, or even waited for Donald, because Donald's not above putting him into a tweet. Waited for that moment, I think his message would have been clearer. I think we can look at his mentions to see how people felt about his response today.
Hate to see it. Okay. I mean, I guess we'll see.
All right. Well, we're gonna hold. We got a lot. Well, actually, let's go to this clip. We're gonna go to a clip from. We do have a guest joining us tonight that she's gonna talk about. And as you know, if you've been watching, you've been listening, you have been, because I get the messages. You want to know who these Black Trump supporters are, and we have one that's gonna join us in a few. I want to first talk about Tiffany Trump and a partial speech. We're not going to play the whole thing, but part of what she had to say to a group of gays for Trump. I don't know if that's what it's called, but
let me just say how excited I am to be here in this room with probably so many of my friends that I see a few of you already in here. It's such an honor. I love you. It's such an honor to be able to be here and speak truthfully, honestly, and from my heart. I know what my father believes in. Prior to politics, he supported gays, lesbians, the LGBTQIA+ community, okay? And people, unfortunately, you see social media, you see these fabricated lies, it saddens me. I have friends of mine who reach out and they say, they make up stories. How would you support your father? We know we know your best friends are gay. We know your best friends are this. I say, it's because my father has always supported all of you.
All right, enough lying. What is it with when people are trying to prove things? Real question. When they're trying to prove something or prove a point, they're like, oh, my best friend is married to a Black person. Or, my daughter has gay. Her point was, my father has always supported the gays because my daughter has gay friends. That's literally, like, paraphrase, those were her exact words.
Let me try that again. I thought he didn't even like Tiffany Trump. Or is that the one that when she was a little girl, he said she was
That was Ivanka.
Okay, so yeah, I thought he didn't like Tiffany
legs when she was like a child.
That's what it was. I thought he didn't like Tiffany.
I don't know the family. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
This seems mighty.
What even was that? Trump pride?
So correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Hasn't a good portion of his administration time in the White House, hasn't he been trying to strip down LGBTQ rights, especially in the military?
Well, he's denied transgender military not just personnel, but people that are in the United States military rights, recognition, acknowledgement, and ban. He issued a ban at one point during his administration. There's also been policies that they've continuously attempted to roll back. And I think part of that is playing to his evangelical base. I think that he's tried to send this messaging, but it was surprising to me. I didn't really know.
Like, this doesn't fit into his narrative at all. It doesn't fit into his policies. It doesn't fit into his plans. It doesn't fit into.
I will say, for the last 4 days, at every rally, he's dancing to YMCA. Which I will also say that the members of YMCA have come out and asked him to please stop playing the song. Like,
I knew they would. I said that when he did that first video. Yeah, now, I didn't know if any of them were still with us. I'm glad that they are, and I'm glad that they've asked him to stop. This doesn't fit. No, I'm sorry. I have too many friends and too many colleagues that I know that are in the LGBTQIA plus community that it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit policies. It doesn't fit the plan. This came way out of left field, and I just can't. No. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. No.
He's been playing another song that they were just like, stop playing my music, bro. It was Victor Willis, the black man from YMCA, that actually was like, sir, you've really got to stop.
I mean, everybody else has told him not to play their music. So what else is he supposed to play?
I really just think what I want more than anything is to understand. And I think we have the opportunity tonight to understand some things that we don't. I think people, and I said this at the beginning of the show, I'll say it again now. People vote their conscience for the most part. Sometimes people vote out of fear, and that's why there's a lot of fear mongering happening right now. People also vote out of ignorance. And so the job is really my job is really to educate people as much as possible so they have the facts. A policy that may be great for your neighbor or your childhood best friend may not be the best policy for you and your life. Depending on the type of work that you do or have done. The type of work that I have done for years restricts me in the way that I believe in freedom and rights, restricts me, and it has restricted me from aligning myself to a party that in so many ways would have been economically responsible for me to support. So I think, we're all over the place with that. And I think our guest, we're going to bring him in, and I'm looking to make sure that I have the right information, but my screen is just blanking out. So Protocol is a serial entrepreneur from Savannah, Georgia, owner of 3L's Enterprises and home of Rec Radio Savannah. Also B&B Demolition and Contractors, and legislative counsel to Georgia State Representative and legislative liaison for the Convention of States. He's 31 years old and a proud Black nationalist. His mission is to bring back a better Black America, fulfilling our God-given and constitutionally protected rights. Protocol, welcome to Unmuted Nation.
What's going on, family? Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. I love having Georgia in the building. Tiff is from Georgia. I'm
represent
from Georgia. And I guess I'll lay it out with just a question that people have from the get-go. And part of the reason that we've been trying to incorporate as many different viewpoints and opinions and thoughts. But one of the main questions that people have when they encounter, I wish I had the results of a poll that we ran over the weekend. We did an Unmuted Nation poll of how many Black people actually knew a Black Trump supporter. And surprisingly, it was like 73% of the people responses were like, I know one. And a lot of either some that are very silent, some that are very vocal, some reserved, some not at all. But I think anybody's reason to vote and who they're voting for is always a personal decision. So I got a few questions for you. My girl Tiff is going to ask you some as well. But in your own words, man, what was it about, or what is it about Donald Trump that draws you or made you make the decision to vote and support him?
He's not the norm. I was tired of the norm. Again, I voted for Barack twice. First two times I voted for him. The first time, 2008, I was at a HBCU, Savannah State. Just came from Albany State, another HBCU. And I found out about some things in 2014, and that was it for me. I was really tired of government, just like most Black people, tired of the government. And I seen Trump come in, and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, yo, all right. Well, unlike most
Blacks, I want to stop you just for a second. I'm not gonna interrupt you. But when you saw Trump, I'm really interested. You saw him coming, and you saw what he was saying. I gotta know, what was it about what he said that was?
Well, see, I didn't learn about Trump through The Apprentice, and I didn't learn about Trump as he ran for president. My dad actually taught me about Trump back in the 90s. So I was used to the rhetoric. My dad's a retired Army Ranger. I'm used to the crazy rhetoric. He was born in 48. Got kicked in the ass for drinking out the wrong water fountain type shit, So I got different reasons. But when the guy was saying, hey, we deserve to be sovereign. Hey, we deserve to, control what schools our kids go to and control our money and screw both sides. Because a lot of people forget that in the beginning, he was like, man, screw both sides. The Democrats and the Republicans, we need to drain the swamp. So when he was coming in saying that, I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I think I can rock with you. And you pissing them both off? Like you making them both mad? Yeah, they're scared of you for something, dude.
I understand how that could be attractive, especially if you've heard that for the first time and you don't know anything about him in the past, which I totally get that. I actually learned about Trump when I was in hobby. I knew about him, but I learned about him. We started
on the Charger.
When I was in high school, and I think but one thing that you just said that really was like one of the things that had my eyebrows raised as well. And Tiff actually can probably attain to this. I was doing a different show at the time, and probably until a month before the election, I was telling people to hold out, stand by, and let's actually see what he does. Right? I was telling people to give him a chance, and I was really, really, really I use my own journalistic integrity to remain neutral. But to drain the swamp is one thing he committed to. And you brought that up. He's done the total opposite. All of the people that he brought into his administration have been people that have been either more corrupt or incited policies that have been harmful to different sects of America. So how do you feel about him and that promise to drain the Trump today? I heard some yelling or something going on. I never lost one that fast. I really haven't. And he said, like, I had a valid question.
You did have a valid question, and I'm hoping that that's not why he dropped. But I think that was an interesting perspective, and that's not the first time that we've heard that he's something different. I think that my question with that and to that would be, at what point does something different become something dangerous? This man at some point has to be a decent human being. And I've said that before. He's not a decent human being. We have family things separated.
Tiff, I'm still so bothered. I really feel like I heard him yell Charger, like maybe he's looking for a Charger. I really hope that's happening. And if we get him back, we will definitely bring him back, because he really did come from an aspect that I wasn't expecting. Right. I you didn't know him at all, which is what I keep telling people, that especially if you are around me, my friends hear me ranting and raving all the time. They don't have to watch it because they already know they can feed me my line. They know what I'm going to say, And so they're like, how could people not? I'm like, everybody doesn't know. Everybody hasn't been listening. Everybody hasn't been watching. It just so happens that I've known you most of my life, and we were in the same class when that lady used to play him every Friday. And so I think, the exposure was just it's totally different. And you kind of saw their behavior and you saw what was there. If we get him back, I'm going to come back to it. We'll be talking about Trump and the election up through the election, the night of the election. We still haven't decided what we're going to do, guys. I really don't know that I don't know that we can afford. Y'all don't want to see me like that.
Drink a little bit.
No, I don't know that we could do coverage alongside with what's happening. I think I don't know. I don't want to make that decision now, but I'm having a flashback. I can think about 2016 where I was when that, like, I just know. I just know. But
someone asked me what one of my favorite moments in our studios was, and that was it. I said, now, despite, the results of the evening, that was still one of my favorite moments. And I recently have been having memories and thinking about that evening again. I hope that the results this time are not the same, because I recently saw memories of me live tweeting that evening not that evening, but the debate that happened between he and Hillary. So I desperately hope that does not. I just
was not well. I wasn't well. And I think I never knew that politics could affect me in that way. And I'm going to tell you who I'm here for. I'm here for those of you that have just kind of embarked onto this journey. And you're like, right. I am depressed. Yeah. I am confusion. I am frustrated. I am unable. And I just don't know what I'm going to do. We're here for you. I want to pivot for a second and talk about a situation that broke yesterday. I was not able to really jump into it the way that I wanted to, or jump into it the way that he did. I wonder if he finished. I don't know. So Jeffrey Toobin, he's a chief legal analyst for CNN. You know the face. I know the glasses. Actually, one of my favorite personalities on CNN. I love the way that he breaks down the news. If you are confused about who this man is, or you're Kiki Palmer to the bullshit at night, you're like, Alex, I don't know who this man is. If he could be walking past, whatever. He's a staff writer for The New Yorker, chief legal analyst for CNN. He's also the author of True Crimes and Misdemeanors, The Investigation of Donald Trump. He also followed the O.J. Simpson case so closely that the FX scripted series that we saw, The People versus O.J. Simpson, was based off of Jeffrey Toobin's book. So if you've never heard of him, it's important. Well, I guess that's who he is. He was suspended by The New Yorker. He's taking time away from CNN because he was on a Zoom call masturbating. I can't call it anything else. I actually want to call it jacking his dick, and that's actually what he was doing.
You want to call
yeah. This is Unmuted Nation Raw. It just is what it is. This is what this man was doing. Now, my understanding of what occurred was he was actually on 2 Zoom calls, which is crazy to know, right? Because one of these Zoom calls could have been his Cisco WebEx connection to CNN, right? And I'm sitting here waiting for him to come and bring me an analysis of what's happening in the administration, and this man is
beating his meat,
patting his Peter, okay? And so I think that, first of all,
Sonny called it earlier today, self-care.
It's definitely self-care. As a sex-positive individual, I think that you should self-care for yourself as much as you like, okay?
Off the Zoom.
It's yours. You should, but not on Zoom.
Not on Zoom.
Not on Zoom. There's absolutely no reason for you to be doing this on Zoom. And how in the hell are you that horny in the middle of the day to be on 2 Zoom calls for work? Now, and I got so many bones to pick here because you got 2 good jobs and plenty of time. You thought the camera was off. What's really messed up is them people saw you. They saw you. They sat there and they watched you jack. Like they saw you. They saw you. They watched you finish. I think. I don't know. That is it's a total mess.
It's the jack.
I have an affection for Sarah Haynes from The View. When The View talked about it today, Sarah could not control herself. It's funny as well, but I'm gonna talk about this level of privilege. Sarah, I don't mean to call you out, but let's just run this and then we'll talk about why this can only happen to a white man.
Legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin was suspended by The New Yorker and took a leave of absence from CNN after co-workers reportedly said that during a Zoom conference, he was, well, masturbating. What do you make of this turn of events, Sarah? Because it seems such a strange thing to do when you know people, you've been working and talking to people. What's your take on this?
I'm sorry. I usually give women a lot of credit for multitasking, but this is a gear switch I could leave to only a man. This was during an election simulation, which is the most, I'm sorry, the most unsexy thing I've ever heard of. And I'm not going to be able to unsee this. I very much miss the days when Jennifer went to the bathroom and forgot to turn off her camera.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I know there's a lot of seriousness to this topic. It's just really hard because I can't fathom a situation where this was the option A and B. So I'm petrified of my computer camera. I don't know if you remember, Whoopi, when you used to tell us, put something over that, put something over that.
Yes,
I take my cameras and my devices very seriously. So this is just not a mistake that I think happens easily. But this.
I'm laughing about it, okay? I'm laughing with Sarah because I think it's funny. Tiff, I see you laughing.
Listen, I could not contain myself watching her earlier today.
Watching her laugh. Like, I wasn't laughing at Jeff. I was laughing at Sarah.
I was laughing at Sarah. And then I was laughing at Joy, laughing at Sarah, laughing at Toobin. Like,
now because now I'm still laughing. I just can't.
I just can't. Like, it was the self-care for me. When when they were trying to find different ways to describe it, and Sarah just said self-care, I said, oh, ma'am, somebody take her off the screen. But like, seriously, you couldn't wait.
So that's my issue, right? That's where I have a real serious problem. I have a whole serious, like, you got a whole wife, you got a whole family, right? Bro, you're in your office with machines around you, and you start jacking your dick on a Zoom call, and you're just suspended. Now, there's some legal ramifications that they're not sure if they could fire him because he was technically at home, but he was working and all of that bullshit, right? With a black man, you are suspended, bro, and unemployable. You will not be able to, and black man, I want you to hear me. You listen to me right now. You jack your damn dick on that camera and your job is gone, bro. Nobody's gonna hire you in this country at all. It's just not forgivable. It's not forgivable. You can't just be out. And then I will also say, I got to come in and say there's also a double standard. Because also male privilege is a huge thing right now. Like, black man, you're not going to get away with it. But could you imagine a woman? Well, first of all, you can't imagine it because no woman's going to do that.
We're smart.
You know what? I was about to credit all women. Then I think about Gen Z. And I'm not able.
Well,
I'm actually not able. Young Miami doesn't drink water.
Which I still don't. I'm not going to do that.
Not doing that. But I'm just saying. So as I think about, like, it all starts to pile in, I'm like, maybe.
But again.
But this wasn't OnlyFans, right?
Wait.
This was not Twitter. This was none of that.
This was not Twitter. You were on, first of all, minor grievance. I would like to know how he was on 2 Zoom calls because they don't allow multiple calls at the same time on one account. That's number one. Number two, you could
multiple devices, definitely.
But you have to have multiple accounts.
Yeah, absolutely. The CNN Zoom and the New Yorker Zoom.
Thank you. Number two, you couldn't wait. Like, and even if you couldn't wait, everyone's at home. Step out of your office. Tap your wife.
This topic just makes me hot.
And say, I'm sorry. Are you available now? I need to meet you in the boom boom room immediately. That's number two. Number three, the privilege in the resolution thus far is astonishing, because you are absolutely correct. A Black man could never. A Black woman certainly could never. And how?
But bro, I really think you need to apologize for more. Like, yeah, you need to apologize to your followers and your viewers. But Amy Bennett McIntosh, your wife, the fact that there's articles that are 18 hours old saying who is Amy Bennett McIntosh, Jeffrey Toobin's wife, like people out here Googling your wife, wondering why you
did she look like
were doing you and not her during your break.
That's my question. Does she look? Let me not
doing it. You won't get me to do it. I don't know what she looks like.
That is your wife at the end of the day. And again, we're all home. Go step outside of your office, tap her on the shoulder, and say, "Excuse me, miss, but what's your name? Where are you from? And can I come?" Literally. I just don't understand at what point you felt like you couldn't wait until lunch, a break, a snack.
No, he was on the break. So he was on the break. He was taking a break on both calls. He thought his camera was off, and he also thought nobody was watching.
Apparently somebody was. Now, from the sounds of what I heard, it didn't sound like anything anyone would want to watch, because let one of the hosts of The View tell it, there are plenty of free resources on Al Gore's internet that are available to you that look better than what apparently they saw on the Zoom call. So I just don't, I have so many grievances and I'm so annoyed.
Like I said, I'm getting hot. It makes me hot. I'm hot. Like you are. I'm hot. Like why were you doing this?
Why were you?
And it does reek of addiction. It does reek of addiction because everybody.
No, I'm not giving him that, because that gives him an out. You beat your meat on 2 Zoom calls. I don't care. No, I'm not giving him.
No, but that could be a viable sex addiction.
No, I'm not giving him that out. If that is, then okay, seek help. I just don't think that that's it, because
But what's the solution if it is, right? Like no Zoom calls. Like what is the solution for something like this?
Step out of your office. If you must beat your meat at 1:00 in the afternoon, step out of the office at least. Step out of, be smart. This is not, yes, we are all doing Zoom calls because Corona, pandemic. However, I have worked in corporate America where I put the little piece of tape over my cameras because I don't even want you to see me stuffing my face on these calls. I definitely don't want to see you beating your meat. Put tape on your cameras. Turn your
I don't want to see you beating your meat, bleeding your blue blood.
Oh my.
Shooting your shot.
I don't want to see you doing any of that. And you knew you were horny when you got on those Zoom calls. Be late to those Zoom calls.
Or did he?
I mean, did he see something on the Zoom call that he liked? Because that's another conversation.
Okay. All right. I'm out. I'm tapping out. We talked about it. Let us know your thoughts on Jeffrey Toobin. How do you feel about Zoom calls, and what do you do? I guess the question is, let's speak this out. What do you do when you're horny on the Zoom? That is a viable question, and I think since we will all still be Zooming for the next year, people get horny in the middle of the day.
I would like to hear what people do, because I don't think I've had that situation. What do y'all do, I guess? If you're married, not married, and you're feeling a little hot.
I want to run a poll too. And this will probably be a gentleman's poll question.
Why just gentlemen?
Because of my phrasing. But if you could, it could be an open question. Have you ever masturbated at work?
Oh, that definitely needs to be you need to open that up.
Okay. So that's a general question. We'll run that poll. Let's run it for a whole.
I won't give women secrets, but
and we'll report on the results of that poll. Have you ever masturbated at work? #ZoomDick. That's a great poll question. We'll put it out there. You can vote on the Muted Nation poll tonight. Moving on, J-Lo is under fire for calling herself the black girl from the Bronx in a song. Okay, when you see J-Lo, do you see the black girl from the Bronx? Which black girl from the Bronx comes to your mind first when you think of an artist?
Cardi B.
Okay.
J-Lo, no, not the girl who had surgery on her butt to reduce it and get more roles. No, I'm sorry. I don't consider her the black girl.
Okay. That's a lot. On her track with Maluna, Lopez sings the lyrics, Siempre serás tu negrita del Bronx, on the song titled Lonely. The line in English translates to, I'll always be your black girl from the Bronx. Is it in the tune of I'm Still Jenny from the Block?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I did pull the song up. I didn't even play it. I don't listen to J-Lo. Like, if I do listen to J-Lo, it's because I want to hear like an old bop that she had, not because she's a phenomenal singer.
Oh no. I like that song with her and LL Cool J.
All I have.
That's it.
We all loved it.
There's
a lot of J-Lo bops that I like.
If you want my love and I gave you all my trust, would you lie to me? I like that one.
I don't know who said this on Twitter, but she said, you are not a black girl from the Bronx. You are a white Hispanic, not black. Stop appropriating black culture.
Well, it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck. Quack, quack.
So I do question, like, J-Lo's, the beginning of her career was very black. So I have questions. That's how I want to see these tweets, because I don't really be responding to them. But I know Gen Z, y'all out here dumb as hell, not knowing what the hell you talking about. Like, we don't really know. Like, you don't even know J-Lo like that. You just think she's some old lady. And I'm not playing y'all, but like J-Lo in Living Color, like, come on, like Flash Girl, like, this is how her career started. She wasn't always dating Ben Affleck. She wasn't going for light skin Hispanics.
Color is.
Do they know who Wanda is?
Oh wow, these are real questions,
right? Because some of y'all are like, "What, Wanda?
Ooh,
Wanda? Who the hell is Wanda?
Who's Wanda? What's a Flash Girl?
That's my business.
Google it.
All right, let's move on from J-Lo and talk about Jussie Smollett. He's back at work. How do you feel about that? I talked to somebody today that told me that the entire Jussie Smollett was bullshit and black people ain't shit for not believing Jussie and standing by him.
Bull. He lied. He lied. No. No.
Do you have viable proof that he lied, or do you just have a feeling?
Both. This is the one.
Jussie still insists that the attack was not a hoax and says he has new evidence to back it up. He'll get a chance to present it because he's still facing criminal charges and a civil lawsuit from the city of Chicago.
I can't wait to see it, because right now that sounds like Trump's plan to replace Obamacare that he's been trying to repeal for 4 years. All of the evidence. Now, witnesses aside, because I don't know what their issue is, and they flip so many times they could be a pancake. But at the end of the day, the video footage, the rope, the purchases, the story didn't add up. And you and I talked about this when that whole situation first came out. We may not have said it publicly, but you and I had conversations because we were trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But we had conversations like, something's not adding up. 2 and 2 is not equaling 4, and I don't understand, but we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Well, it just don't make sense. And I go back to, like, I live in somewhere that it does get very cold in the wintertime, and I know what Chicago is like in the wintertime. And I'm saying winter like this because that's how black people say winter, and it is cold. And I'm not going out there at 2 a.m., especially if Uber delivers me
and
something that can bring me something, not a Subway. I'm not going to Subway. That's not a 2 a.m. trip. Nobody goes to Subway at 2 a.m.
Don't
and initially I thought that he was going to the Subway, but then they said a Subway, and I was like, ain't nobody going to Subway. And I don't want to relitigate this because I'm not the city of Chicago. I don't want my money back. They really did get on it though. And then, you know, people that are from Chicago was like, ain't no white people down there at that time of night, you know, but then he does live in a gentrified area. But, you know, like, there's I don't know. He's back to work. He's working on a project with Lettucey and Broderick Hunter. He was behind the scenes, behind the camera. I'm happy he's getting a check. I want to see people work.
Okay. He lied.
Liar.
You're a liar.
But that's not my business.
It
It's not.
actually is, because you set Black people back. Raggedy ass. So yes, it is my business. You lied. Sit down.
Big.
And I would be okay with him working again. I would be okay with the whole situation if you just admitted that you lied.
I honestly believe that somebody very close to him told him to do this and that he was actually dragged into this mess and then abandoned. But you won't catch me speculating on Al Gore's internet. Carole Baskin. It's always interesting for me to hear this name and then see her. I heard so much about it. I know the whole story because everybody's told me about it, but I did not sink down to the level that the rest of you people did to watch Tiger King. Carole has decided, she tells Pink News that she's discovered her truth back during the AIDS crisis in the 80s when she was spending lots of time with the LGBTQ or the LGBT plus community. In the words of Tiffany Trump, the LGBTQ community. Carole Baskin comes out of the closet as a bisexual. Now, I'm going to just call this how I see it. Carole's got a lot of fame and notoriety. She's on Dancing with the Stars. This is a ploy to stay relevant. Because people watch their little show and then they moved on. But I also believe that sex is a spectrum. We talk about that here as well. People can discover what they like and how they like it, and what they feel, where they want to be touched, and where they want to put it. Hell, Jeff Toobin is 60 years old, jacking his dick on Zoom. Carole Baskin she can come out of the closet. No, I don't care.
I mean, Caitlyn Jenner became a woman at 80, so who are me to judge? Whatever floats your boat.
She became a transgender Republican, though.
Caitlyn?
Yeah.
I mean, did I misspeak?
Still, okay. Now, this is the most outrageous story that we're going to do tonight. We have said a lot of outrageousness. You're probably like, damn, I need a drink. They've been drinking the whole show. I'm over this. Like, I have learned information that I don't need. Carole Baskin is a homosexual. And J-Lo is a black girl from the Bronx. 60-year-olds can jack their dick at work and I can't. You know, like, people feeling some type of way at this point. If you don't feel some type of way already, if you live in Texas, you will tonight. Texas has a Texas court has ruled. This is insanity to me, Tip. I don't even know if I've shared this one with you just yet. That they will be tossing absentee ballots over mismatched signatures, which means that if your signature on your absentee ballot does not match the one on your voter registration card, which for a lot of people is going to be the one on the bottom of your driver's license. If it doesn't match, and again, let's do some Gen Z teaching for a lot of people right now. So back in the day when people used to write checks, y'all are like, what the hell is a check? The signature on your ID, your driver's, there's a reason that they have you sign and your ID has your signature at the bottom. They would ask you to present your ID as you gave them the check. And then, you know, the old lady or old man at the cashier at the Publix is going to look down, baby, can I see your driver's license? They need to see driver's license, so I need to compare to come in front. So that's what's going to be happening in Texas. They are going to be actually pulling your signature. And if it does not match, now who do you think, or how often do you think this is going to happen?
Very often.
How is this even legal? And
How is
you
this
know why a court would reinstate this?
legal?
Because Donald Trump put how many judges on the circuit courts in the last year? Was it something like 180, 280 judges that were assigned to circuit courts right under your watch? These are federal judges in states. So we are all in arms about what's happening on the Supreme Court. And this man has been, this is why voting matters and voting elections have consequences. Texas, I don't know what y'all gonna do. Forget. Just trying to look for the right F word. The mail-in ballots, absentee ballot. Assume that like Donald Trump said. I'm not gonna give you that bad advice, but like he said, go vote anyway. If it hasn't been received, you should not be able to do it if the system is working and it's right for what. Like if it was thrown out, and what I've seen is what I'm getting. And if you are voting, if you voted, send us your photos. We want them. Tweet us a picture of you at the ballot, your sticker, your peach, your apple, whatever your state has, your postmark. Send us your ballot. I got like 5 people sending me photos today. Somebody sent me a picture. They were in line. Actually, my brother sent me a picture of him in line down in Florida. Happy to see it. Excited about getting out there. These kind of disgusting suppressive tactics are happening all over the country. You need to be aware of them.
Absolutely.
You have to be aware of them.
Absolutely.
It's very dangerous.
Absolutely. That's disgusting, for lack of a better word.
I just had no words, and I didn't hear the story until right before we got on air today, and I just
burn it all down.
throw it away.
Just
throw it away.
This is the ghetto.
This is the ghetto, and this is raw, and this is how things happen, and we are just here. I don't make the news, guys. We just report it.
Yeah.
I can't wait till you're on before me. I really can't wait for that. I think that moment,
I could have picked another time slot.
There's going to be something else. And I think, it is what it is. Unmuted Nation Raw continues. We are here tomorrow. And then Thursday, we will be modified, right? Okay. So going on, call out Friday. Hell, who cares? No, I'm just, don't call out. But we will be here directly after the debate, if you want to call it that. Joe Biden and, at 1600. They will be going head to head on Thursday. And immediately following, we will be live to unpack what happened. We've been calling it the debate after show. This is the last debate. Eat something good, bring a drink. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but we'll be here talking about it. Tiff, how do people keep up with you?
You can keep in touch with me at Tiff Linnell on all of my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as .com.
Well, thank you, Tiff, as well. I'm Alex Unmuted on everywhere. Instagram and Twitter. I prefer Twitter. I probably won't respond on Instagram. I hate it there. But I am on Twitter, Alex Unmuted, AlexUnmuted.com, whatever. Remember, today is greater. Believe it, speak it, and live it. You have to make the choice to be great. Your situation is not your destination. So make it your motivation. You got to be motivated. We all got to stay motivated. So stay motivated. Stay black. I love you. Good night.